when we were on air with the comm box just 4 minutes away, 4 minutes ago, we were thinking, we'll be back probably in the 16th and the 17th. We didn't know that we'd sneeze and cough once and be back again. And here we are, because Gujarat has cleaned Lucknow out. I think that's the only way you can describe what they've done to them. Bowled them out for 82. They've put 144 on the board and then won by 62 runs. This is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur and I'm asking Harsha Bhogle the question tonight. The international wants to know, can they be made to follow on with this kind of a difference? But can they be made to follow on?
I know you're a good actor. You cannot do that role and you should not just ask.
Oh, please.
I will say.
If you feel like I'm getting close, then slap me. But really, this is, it should be, they should be allowed to follow on with this kind of a difference. Harsha?
If you're a Gujarat Titans fan, wow. If you're a Lucknow Super Giants fan as well, just
doff your hat. You're right.
Some days you just say, well played. If I was in that Lucknow Super Giants change room, I'm saying, look, 1 in 14, you might get a game like this. Thank our stars, it's not happened in a knockout game. It's happened now. That's it. Let's go to the next game.
But for Gujarat, we'll talk about Lucknow in just a second, because I'm sure that they'll take a second to catch their breath as well after what's happened. But Gujarat, my God, Lisa, this is just... And to come after the losses and to come after the question marks and, did they get complacent or do they have the personnel, have the wheels come off? Man, this is quite a decisive reply.
Oh, huge reply. So I said in the innings break, I wanted to be a fly on the wall. Well, I think now you want to be in that change room, because they'd be up and about again, because they've been able to win a game that really they shouldn't have. I know it wasn't an easy pitch, but it's certainly not a 62-run victory pitch either. So they've certainly bowled well. They've taken the chances that have come their way. The spinners are class. I mean, Rashid Khan picking up a 4 for first time he's done that in an IPL as well. So that's huge, and that's when you want your key men, your key internationals to really step up, and he's done that.
I got to say, the pick of the batters perhaps was Avesh Khan with his 2 sixes of Rashid. When you put everything in context.
You saw the expression on Rashid's face?
Yeah. He was having a laugh.
What's happening here?
He's like, is this a parallel universe all of a second? But look what their bowlers did, right? Let's have a look at what their bowlers have done today. And Harsha just pointed out. What was that? You said 6 wickets to spin, right, today?
6 for 31, I think it is, eventually to spin. And that's just fantastic, because, they have the world's best T20 bowler, best T20 spinner, best T20 bowler. Everyone has spent hours poring over trying to figure out which is the leg break, which is the wrong one. But his arm goes at supersonic speed. Even if you try to break it down frame by frame, the frames come too quickly. So how do you pick it up? And for someone who's been studied and analyzed so much, look at that Holder and dismissal and look at the Pandya dismissal. Pandya is a very decent player of spin. Holder, I can understand. In the Caribbean, you don't get to see a lot of those. It's been a long-standing traditional weakness for batsmen from the Caribbean against wrist spin. But look at the Pandya dismissal. And he is bamboozling top players in the world's top league for fun. And I think he will go back and say thank you very much to Ridhiman Saha, who quietly has had an absolute stunner today behind the stumps. But he's behind the stumps. I mean, you can't take away. I'm not taking away from either Sai Kishore or Rashid Khan or the magnificence of Mohammad Shami's first spell. That first spell, I mean, it
set it up.
I mean, you go and have a great meal. You go and have a great meal and you say, wow, chef, it was that kind of performance.
Yeah, it really was. You're talking about Saha, of course, those stumpings, one and then the catch and then the run out. He is one of the best wicket keepers the game has seen in a while. So really was all over the place today. But Pandya, by the way, just to add to what you said about that stumping, I think in 83 odd innings, this is the first time that Krunal Pandya has been stumped out. So that's how much Rashid has bamboozled him. I don't know what happened.
it was almost like he saw the wrong one, the first ball, and he thought, hey, he's not going to bowl me another one. He's going to bowl me the leg break. So he was trying to outsmart Rashid Khan, and in the end, he looked the fool, didn't he? Really?
Yeah, that's a bad move. That's a bad move.
You know, I'd love. Yeah. I actually, Lisa, you must tell us a little bit more about this arm speed for a spinner, because with that arm speed to get that kind of control, but also to bowl the leg break, I can understand bowling the googly at that arm speed, but to get the leg break and that accuracy is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think he got assistance as well from the pitch. The pitch turned. You saw the first one that he bowled with the wrong one, and he had the biggest grin on his face. He's like, oh, this is what I need. They've lost wickets. The required run rate is up. I'm getting assistance with the pitch. Like, that is the scenario that Rashid Khan thrives on. And, you know, he goes against what we've been taught as cricketers. He hardly uses his front arm. It drops away suddenly. That's why he's so quick through the crease. You know, we're told to hold on our front foot as long as possible to try and get as many revs, whether it be off spin or leg spin, as you possibly can. But not him. He's so quick through the crease that there's hardly any time. And you're right, the speed of his arm is big. And he only has to turn it that far away from the middle of the bat and he's in the game. And that's what he does.
Rashid is our Omni-Gel relief and recovery performer of the match. I'm a little dumbstruck like Lucknow as well today. So yeah, Omni-Gel, India's #1 pain recovery gel brand. It's not only gives quick relief, but also recovery from pain. No dard for fans, because when Rashid is bowling, the pain is only for the batters, isn't it, Harsha?
As I said, I mean, people have spent so much time trying to figure out how to play Rashid. And Liza's right. Today the ball is gripping a little bit, which makes it tougher. But this is someone who's been doing it for 4 or 5 years now. And initially, you know, we all said when Rashid came along and was taking this bag full of wickets, we said, yeah, he's getting them against UAE, he's getting them against Ireland, he's getting them against Scotland. They don't play a lot of wrist spins, so difficult to pick. Yeah, let him come and play at the higher level. He's playing in the world's biggest league and he's bamboozling the best batsman. Bamboozle, what a word. No, it describes him best. He's not dumb enough. Bamboozle. That's what he's doing. He's bamboozling the best players. What a bowler, man. What a bowler.
He's picked up 4 wickets today, and that's why he is our Omni-Gel relief and recovery performer of the match. Ensured that there was no dud for Gujarat's fans. He almost had a hat-trick, but Avesh decided he had other plans, hit him for 2 sixes, and after that he's at 24. Now, just must be looking at Avesh and saying, Avesh bhai, what have you done with my fingers? What have you done? But I guess Avesh will probably go back from this game saying, skip. Not number 11. Huh? Not number 11. But yeah, for that long batting of Lucknow, and Lisa, we spoke about it so much. And let's move to Lucknow now. For that long batting to get skittled out for 82, this is a big problem. I mean, I know it's just a day, and as Harsha said, you want to forget that day and go away, but you don't want to forget it too quick as well.
Yeah, look, I think your bankers are Quinton de Kock, KL Rahul, Deepak Huda. Yeah. And they've been doing well, you know, throughout the tournament so far. But then it's your 4, 5, 6, 7. They've changed it all around. They're not quite sure what they're actually doing. So they're not really being able to perform as well as they would like. Oh, you guys there? So the main thing is about...
Everybody's here. The party's still on. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Party's still on. Here we are. Yeah, sorry. We're talking about the Lucknow batters and how really for them today, nobody got going. Deepak Huda was there, perhaps 27 or 26. But here's what we've been saying. And Lucknow's got to have a good hard look at this, Lisa, and say, we win when our openers get runs. We're batting down to 8. So there will be days when, you know, the openers won't get runs like today and like has happened before. We can't have a domino effect with numbers 3 to 8.
No, you can't. But the problem is that they're literally going at a run of ball, aren't they? They're not being able to really kickstart. And that's why I think there's an issue with that 4, 5, 6 position. And because they've changed it so many times, that I don't think that they've got a clear idea of what their role is. And I know you're supposed to be flexible in T20 cricket, but you look at the most successful teams in IPL, it's a very stable batting order. Maybe once in a while they'll make one change. That's it, based on matchups. But I do feel that they're missing a trick, Lucknow, with their batting order, and it did cost them today.
Yeah, it did. They didn't get an opening partnership. They, of course, were 24 for 2. Both the openers were gone. 24, that was the 5th over. And they just couldn't find their way back after that. Harsha just never looked at any point in time that they could. It's not like they were on top of Gujarat. There was not even a moment when Gujarat was not on top of them.
No, right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, it was their game. What I'd love to see is quickly look at the numbers and say, right, KL Rahul's made 440, 450 runs. Quinton de Kock's made 340, 350 runs. Who's the next highest scorer? Because you see, with the bowling, it's nicely spread around. But the next highest scorer, and I think you'll find it's probably 200 and something, I'm estimating, for Deepak Hooda. But they need that number 4. And it's a position that's not appreciated much, because number 4 means 10. You must come 10 for 2, and you must be able to come in at 140 for 2 and finish the game. People like Surya Kumar Yadav and these others are magnificent number 4s. I think maybe there, and that is why when I first saw their team, I thought Manish Pandey at 3, Deepak Hooda at 4, and that would be the perfect lineup. Maybe that's still possible, and that's what you can get, because you already have 16 points. You're in a happy position. Maybe Stoinis 3, Hooda 4, and then build the batting after that.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about Marcus Stoinis. They almost seem to be reluctant to use him.
And today, no one wants to talk to him either. Don't talk to him today.
That's right. Especially Deepak Hooda.
You almost feel that there was a conversation as they were running through for that first single to go, yep, we're coming back for 2. And then I don't know if Deepak looked up and went, oh, there's not 2. Let me just go down on my knee. That got, I don't think he would have made it. I get down on my knees
and begin to pray. That's right. Don't know about California dreaming, but he was definitely caught napping, because Marcus Stoinis had committed halfway to the run. There was just not enough to turn back. And David Miller, really quick throw. Saha's not going to botch that. That run out was really... Okay, they gave a few gifts today, actually. It's definitely... I don't know whose birthday it was, because both teams are very keen on giving each other a lot of gifts. They were given in the field. They were given in dismissals. Harsha, was one of those days, right? I guess when 1 or 2 play each other, that's the best time or the best day to see that mortality actually does exist amongst the upper layer.
Lucknow more than Gujarat. I thought Lucknow were a little sloppy. I mean, they're in many ways they're a fantastic side, but they were a little sloppy today in the field, especially with Shubman Gill. I mean, we were critical of Shubman Gill's performance, but as we discussed during the Combox, with every passing over, that batting performance looked better and better. But yeah, Lucknow Super Giants were definitely a little forgettable in the field today. And 63 or 49. How many days do you look at 63 from 49 and say in retrospect what a good innings that was? But yeah, I think both sides would look at their fielding and say, thoda.
Well, today it was good enough for him to get player of the match, and Gill has won that. So that is fantastic. I'll tell you another moment which I really enjoyed. There was one moment there when Krunal Pandya came into bat. The opposing captain is his brother, and the guy standing with him there is Deepak Hooda.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Friends become foes, foes become friends. That's the beauty of this tournament. I just love when stuff like that
You've been
happens.
seeing too many movies. You've been seeing a lot of movies, but this comes straight out of a movie. This had to come straight out of a movie. Bhaiya, but Bhaiya to dusre team mein hai. Oh, tu mere team mein hai. You know, that kind of stuff.
I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed that little sketch from Harsha.
Yeah, the goat. The goat is showing us his
histrionics, his thespian skills. Nice, we love it. Hoffer and the Goat. I'm actually working on a movie called The Hoffer and the Goat. I'll send you guys the script pretty soon. But let's also talk about young Sai Kishore. Lisa, your impressions of him. He has finished today with 2 wickets of his 2 overs and just 7 runs given.
There's something that you really like about him simply because he's tall. he's got gangly kind of arms and legs. They tend to go everywhere, but he actually delivers the ball really nicely. Good amount of revs on it. He's able to get that drop because he's coming from such a height, and then got a really great assistance from the pitch. So I thought he was outstanding today. And I'm starting to feel that teams that have got excellent spinners within their playing 11 and depth within their squad are actually going to be quite successful now at the back end, because these pitches are starting to grip and turn a little bit more than what we saw at the start, which is no surprise. Only 4 grounds. There's only so many pitches on there. I mean, the finals do change. You go to Kolkata and Nabad as well. So maybe it might be a little bit different. But to get into that top 4, your spinners are going to have to play a good role.
Yeah, one of the teams has already booked their spot in that final week that Lisa's talking about, and that team is Gujarat. Gujarat is the first team to qualify. Here we are today in match 57, and they are the first team to qualify. So well done, Gujarat. Good job. They've got 9 wins now out of 12, which means they're sitting pretty. They won't be sitting pretty for too long, because they'll want to make that 10, perhaps even 11, and, take that number 1 position for sure. But at this point in time, Harsha, brilliant from the team. And just a word on the captain, Hardik, because, there's always been this question. Some players, when they, haven't captained much, they're given this responsibility. Some tend to wear it heavy. It kind of just puts a cloak over their real personality. But some just tend to fly. It's like sunshine to a plant, yeah? And that's exactly how Hardik has been.
Fantastic. I mean, I'll be very honest. Just before today's second inning started, I thought Faf was the captain of the tournament because of what he's done with RCB. But produce a stunning turnaround like this with a team that, let's be honest, nobody thought would have the first cue against their name. Something right has happened, and very often when you search for what is right, the search often ends at the leader. You were right. Some first-time leaders can get burdened. We already seen that with Jadeja. You can get burdened by leadership. I almost thought that he was taking it too lightly, but he's clearly doing something right. He's doing something right. Today he came and bowled the first over himself. Yeah. He's not had a lot of success with the bat in the last few games, but he's batting in the difficult numbers. He's batting 3, he's batting 4, saying, "Come, I will do the stuff." So he's doing a lot of things. He's doing a lot of things well. But I mean, unless you know inside the camp, we are only looking at the result. And if you judge a leader purely by wins and losses, take your second time today.
Sorry, Lisa. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, there does seem to be almost like he giggles and laughs everything off and smiles it off and just kind of dusts it off his shoulders. But maybe that's the type of approach this generation need as cricketers, not you need to do this, you need to score runs for us. That probably doesn't work anymore. That's old school cricket that, which we were, or I was a part of, and you guys have seen as well. Whereas I feel like the guys are a lot more sensitive. There's a lot more pressure because of tablets, phones, social media, everything else. And there needs to be a bit of tender love and care that's almost gone. So I almost feel he's gone that point where it's a bit like MSD. He doesn't give any emotions where he's poker face on the field. And Hardik is similar, but he has at least a smile on his face the whole time. So that might actually send a positive reinforcement to the players when they're under the pump.
Yeah, I like to see one thing. There's goof ups in the field. They will happen. People are human. And there are some leaders who react to a goof up with a lot of anger. There's a glare. There'll be some who will just scold the player right there, and that it's just words that are being said, but it'll be left on the field. And then there's the Hardik model, which is just you're laughing. You're actually saying that was really funny because the runs are gone, right? Yeah, that was a single given or 2 or whatever, unless it was a really incompetent mistake and something that really should have. But otherwise, things like that, goof ups that happen, Harsha, we've seen that enough with these guys. They're having a laugh, and that's great. It's not like they're not taking it seriously.
I'm very interested in what Lisa said about this generation, because I know that Hardik is not the kind of player who like to kick up the backside. We always talk about 2 kinds of approaches: a kick up the backside arm around your shoulder approach. And I know for a fact that Hardik suffered from not having an arm around the shoulder approach at a certain stage in his career when he thought he was getting a little kick up the backside. So he probably thinks, look, this is the approach that works. I'm going to be an arm around the shoulder captain. And look, we are just looking at what we see on television. Yeah. But I get the impression he's an arm around the shoulder kind of person. And I mean, he's had so many knocks in life while he was coming up that he probably thinks, look, this is the game, man. Let's have fun. So I think it's one for a conversation with him about his captaincy style now, because he's doing something right.
They're having fun. The team's having fun. Their fans are having fun. I'll tell you, 9 other teams are not having fun because they haven't qualified yet. And they're looking at this one team and saying, oops, that's 1 spot out of 4 that's already gone. Lucknow will be eyeing the other one for sure. As will Rajasthan, Bangalore, and Delhi. It's looking a little tricky for Delhi and Hyderabad now, because there's a bit of a delta. Yes, Bangalore's played 1 more game, but if you just see Rajasthan, they at this point in time look like a shoe-in for that 3rd spot. But Delhi could stop them tomorrow and give Bangalore a few sleepless nights. What? How many teams are playing tomorrow? Well, it's just 2. But as usual, towards the end, 2 teams play, but the repercussions seem to happen, kind of sends a ripple through the entire lake, right? It's Rajasthan playing Delhi tomorrow. And as we saw on that points table, Rajasthan is in 3rd position and Delhi is lower. The delta between them in terms of points is 4. But Lisa, tomorrow's more of a make or break game for Delhi, because they have to make the top 4. They need to win tomorrow. For Rajasthan, the repercussion is if they don't win tomorrow, then 1 and 2 seem out of reach, right? So there's a lot at stake for both, but perhaps a little more for Delhi.
Yeah, still plenty on the line for both sides, but Delhi is the one that are hanging on by a thread. And you've got to feel for them, and I certainly do. This tournament has not gone to plan at all. Internationals came a little bit later, or they didn't expect them not to be all available either the first few games. Then COVID hit, Mitch Marsh got injured, then got COVID. Now Prithvi Shaw's in hospital, and we got a bit of a glimpse as well that, when James Hope was talking last game, that they literally got a message at 2:30 a.m. You're not allowed to leave your room until the bus to take you to the ground. And even then there were some anxious waits of inconclusive results, and finally came back negative. So that is not an environment to perform at your peak. So you can turn all of those negatives into a positive, and they did that last time when they went through a similar case. The last game they didn't do that, and they look a bit exhausted, a bit flat as well. So it's up to now the leaders and the coaching staff just to lift them a little bit more. If they can win tomorrow, that might just spark something in. And, if they can get Prithvi Shaw back, I don't know where he's at the moment, then that would certainly help.
Yeah, and Lisa's so right, because the second time it's happened to Delhi that they've been sent into forced isolation and come straight from an isolated room into onto a stadium to play. And Delhi is a great example of how you can do most things right. In the build-up to the IPL, they did most things right. They had a well-structured side. They lost most during the auction because they lost a lot of their key players. When you're a very good side, people poach your players. So they lost Avesh, they lost Ashwin, they lost quite a few players. They lost Rabada. Because when you're a very good side, people poach your players. In spite of that, I think they did a pretty decent job at the auction. But you see in tournaments like these, which are, it's the longest T20 tournament, but it's still a short tournament, and it's subject to the whims of life. And suddenly, you're being subjected to something. 2 players are coming late. There's an Australian contract that says your players might be available, but if your national team is playing somewhere, you cannot play a franchise tournament. So that's another 3 games gone for them, even though their players are here. Then a COVID scare, then someone else gets. So there's a lot of things that are out of syllabus, as we say.
That's true.
A lot of things that happen.
And
so,
despite
you can't
that,
plan for those.
Yeah, and despite that, they haven't done too badly. There's a couple of games that have been fairly close. Yeah, despite that, they haven't done badly.
But they have to win tomorrow.
Yeah, they have to win. What's the change you see, right? If Prithvi comes back, I guess straight swap. Prithvi comes in, and KS Bharat has to sit out, even though he just played 1 game. But otherwise, any other change that you see? Nah?
if he's in hospital for very high fever till yesterday, I don't see him playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
These
and
teams
his
all have
injury
good
levels
doctors
as well.
Yeah. And these teams, Lisa, have all good doctors, and they have. I mean, we are in a CSK bubble. I can see the kind of facilities they have over here. If it required someone for a fever to go to hospital, it couldn't be very good. So I don't see him coming back right away. So they'll just have to either go with Bharat. They tried Mandeep Singh. So they are again in a situation they're saying, okay, we've got 4 games to go, 3 games to go, but what is our best 11? And that is the uncomfortable part. They need Rishabh Pant to go out and play like Rishabh Pant and not play like Rishabh Pant wanting to be captain. We want that impish Chalu Rishabh Pant to come out and play like Rishabh Pant and just show the way, because there's still a very good team. How many teams have a David Warner, a Rishabh Pant, a Mitch Marsh, a Robin Powell in their top 5? So there's still a very good side. It's still a pretty good bowling side. Khalil has been bowling really well. Nokia will come back and bowl better. Kuldeep's going through a bit of a dip, but he's taken 18 wickets already in the tournament. Yeah. So there's still a very, very good side.
Yeah, true.
One thing, could Sarfaraz Khan actually come up and open? I'm just thinking of...
I'm just saying it. They've got Mandeep for 1 game. They've had Bharat for 1 game. I don't know if they should then go to a third player for another game, because that just kind of, it's Bharat.
I guess I feel bad for him, because he's he scores runs regularly in domestic cricket and then gets 1 or 2 opportunities and then doesn't. And then it's goodbye.
Yeah, I think because they had their top 6 settled, and right now they've got Prithvi obviously unavailable, but otherwise, if with Mitch available, with Robin being there, they had their top 6 settled, or their top 5 at least settled. So I think they were just going to always do this little revolving door with Mandeep or Sarfaraz or Bharat. It was always kind of going to be that. But I guess probably that's the only change, if you see it, possibly that they could do. Otherwise, it looks just fine for them. But Rishabh, yes, it's true.
If they have another if they have another Indian fast bowler, they can go with an all-Indian attack and push Seifert up to open the batting with Warner.
Yeah.
And say, Warner, you bat through. We've got just a hitter. So let's see what they've got in terms of bowling, because that will be no knock here.
Just Nagarkoti.
So if they play Chetan Sakaria, that's a good call. Shardul Thakur, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Khalil Ahmed, Chetan Sakaria, with a little bit of Lalit Yadav and Mitch Marsh. And Mitch Marsh is starting to bowl.
Akshar Patel and Ripple Patel, the 2 Patels. Yeah. You got the 2 Patels, because Lalit Yadav was not part of the last game. So you've got the 2 Patels.
He could come in for Ripple Patel.
Yeah.
No, he's okay. So he could come in for Ripple Patel, and then but that's a lot of juggling with their balance, huh? That's a lot of juggling with their balance. And that also means waiting for Nokia for all this while and then making him sit. So that's another something which is going to be an issue with one of their retentions. Anyway, I think the question tomorrow for them, the bigger question, is the fact that Rishabh, with the weight of captaincy on his shoulders, is losing his shape, literally, as a batter. And they don't need that. Rishabh probably should look at Hardik and say, ooh, come on, be a sunflower. That's what you need to be. Come on, just come out and bloom. On the other side, we have the Rajasthan team. Their keeper captain batter is having no such issue, because he's wearing the crown. He's wearing it nicely, isn't he? Samson's wearing it nicely, Lisa.
Yeah, he is. He's done well with this side. He's got some key players. Obviously, Joss Butler scoring runs. They will be without Shimron Hetmeyer, because obviously he went back for the birth of his first child. So they missed the finishing touches that he's been able to provide. But then from a bowling point of view, they've got so many options. It feels like they've got every skill set that they need. I mean, you got your Trent Bolt, Prasidh Krishna has been good. Chahal, we know what he's been able to do as well. Ashwin, clever. He may not pick up wickets, but he goes for about 24 runs. So it's a good side. It's been managed very well, and then they've been able to put the runs on the park.
I actually like Jimmy Neesham, but I seem to be in a minority, because most teams have him in their squad and never play him.
He could come in tomorrow.
In this squad with no Hetmeyer, I mean, we've seen him finish fantastically for New Zealand. He did so well in that 2019 World Cup. So surely there's a player in him there, which is why every year you buy him. So tomorrow I would like to see I would like Suryan Parag go up to 5.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Neesham play Hetmeyer's role from number 6. And just tell him, look, the flights to Guyana and back are not that frequent. So you've probably got 2 games here.
Yeah.
So go and play Hetmeyer's role from number 6. It's not easy because Hetmeyer is a special player, but go and do it from 6.
I've gone from Mumbai to Guyana. I can tell you, it is long. It takes time.
Anywhere to the West Indies is long.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
Especially if you're from Sydney and all these places. Then it's
at one end of the world. All right, so
look at this girl. Look at. Did you hear her saying correct?
Yeah.
No, I just blended in nicely.
Okay.
As long as she's not nodding like this, then we'll know we have her. This is her nod, then we know
she used to come for chuttis to. She used to come as a little girl from Australia for chuttis to Chowpatty. She knows all the shaking of heads and corrects.
That's right. They lost by 62 runs today, which means that their 0.6 differential in net run rate has become level. So one's come crashing down by 3, one's gone by 3, and they are level now. That's what a 62-run loss will do to you.
What if
youth?
See, he doesn't even know.
Yeah, the youth
is what?
The youth youngsters, the millennials, us, the generation that Lisa was talking about. Me, the younger generation. How we
younger generation.
Go on. What do they say?
Totes cool, bro.
Totes.
Right,
totes.
Totes. Not as in the bags.
Totally. As in totally.
Not like the bags that you're made to carry when.
Hurry up! I want to go home.
The producer saying, "Let's see the joy fact question." Here it is to end the sesh. This cricketer played 7 tests for New Zealand. You can read the question. Name the cricketer. The answer is Andy Roberts. Andy Roberts. All right. I will give one of you a point. I'll let you think about it while I tell you who the winner is. Andy Roberts is also referred to in a very famous film by Amitabh Bachchan, also in the 70s. Let's show you the answer first, and then I'll come to Harsha and Lisa to ask them. The goat and the hoffer. The correct answer came in from, who was the first person? Come on. There we go. You got to go home. I am home. Sarangarajan. Congratulations, Sarangarajan.
Didn't he win it recently?
I think he did. He won the...
When we talked about Hasaranga and Saranga.
That's right. Yeah, that is correct.
The 35% LBW quiz question.
There you go. That was it. Well done, buddy. That's 2 in a week for you. Excellent. Okay, and now to the 2 of you. Come on. Andy Roberts, Amitabh Bachchan film.
Namak Halal or Namak Halal?
Nah.
Or Amar Akbar Anthony?
Amar Akbar Anthony is the correct answer. And on that note, we will give Harsha Bhogle a... Congratulations for that big prize. That's all we have time for on Cricbuzz Live. Totes. He's wearing it lightly. It's Totes. Totes, we're going to send you some coats. That's what we're going to send you. Big thank you to Lisa Sthalekar and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much for being here on Cricbuzz Live. We're going to see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to be here. Yes. We're Totes going to be here. All right. Good night. Lol. JK. YOLO.